More than 50 million Americans are now 65 plus. By 2030, as the last baby boomers turn 65, older adults are expected to reach 20% of the U.S. population. And many of those people want to age at home, and they'll need some extra help taking care of themselves during their daily routines, and technology may be able to help with that. And so with me today, a company that's addressing this need. So we have Ryan Hurd, the CEO of Caregiver Smart Solutions. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
And great to see you again, Arthur Bavelas. Always great to see you, CEO of Family Office Insights. So Ryan, tell me about the company. What is it you do?
So very simply, Caregiver Smart Solutions makes it easy, non-obtrusive, and more affordable to monitor your loved one as they age in place. You know, like you said before, there's 50 million Americans that are 65 and older right now, and 87% of them want to stay in home and they want to age in place.
Sure.
The problem is us, the children. That makes it very stressful. I want to know how my loved one is doing. You know, the basics. Did they get up? Are they moving around? Are they taking their medicines? And then, God forbid, the dreaded fall.
Sure.
Right? Those are the big things. So we want to know how they're doing.
Yeah, and I mean, it's, you know, and a lot of times these adult children are working.
Yes.
You know, they have their work they have to be at. They probably have young kids. So
Yeah, and that's called the sandwich generation.
That's right. So, and they need some extra help.
Yeah.
Monitoring things. So how does the company work? Is there a device that they put into the homes, or explain to me how this would work?
Yes. So the way that we do it is we have very tiny, non-obtrusive sensors that are placed throughout the house.
Okay.
And from there, it's giving you the insights. And simply with the opening of your phone and seeing the app, you'll know exactly how your loved one is doing. So if you're here in Manhattan, which is a beautiful day today, if you're in your office, in your cubicle, anywhere, you can quickly open up your app, and within a second, you can see exactly how your loved one's doing, which means you have less stress and you can get back to the focus of life, whether that's working or taking your kids to the ball game or whatever.
Yeah. So Arthur, I mean, this seems like an enormous market size and opportunity as we're living longer, and you know, we've got a huge baby boomer generation getting older.
So sadly, I've lived through this, as many have, with their my mother living alone, for example, which, Ryan, I didn't prep you for this question, but at some point in the last few weeks, there was somebody that I was chatting with that quoted a statistic about a percentage of people who are living alone compared to where it used to be. Like there's a massive trend for people to live alone for one reason or another. Are you familiar with that statistic?
Yeah. Most people are single and female that are living alone. It's an amazing issue that we have, unfortunately, and whether it's in the assisted living care facilities, or we call them CCRCs, or whether it's at home. I mean, it's a huge problem. We say that this is the beginning of the proverbial tsunami. It's going to be that big.
So just to give you a question, so my parents are in Indiana,
Okay.
and I live in New York. Can I monitor them from this far?
100%.
Okay.
See, the amazing thing here is whether you're in Indiana, whether you're in Florida, whether you're in California, whether you're on the other side of the continent, country, world, the reality is we all have somebody that we love and care about, and we want to make sure that they're okay.
Is it internet-based? Is that how?
Yes.
Okay.
So the information, very simply, the little sensors that are placed throughout are feeding data, which goes up to our information, our cloud, all the words that we use.
Sure.
And that data is then reflected in your app, which is in your cell phone.
Okay. And what kind of specifically information do you provide?
So the basics, we start with the basics, right? So did mom get up? Is she moving around? Is she going to the bathroom? Is she taking her meds? Is she opening up the refrigerator? Is she sitting in front of the TV? Is she sitting in front of the TV for 3 hours at a clip? All the basic things. Then from there, we go to, let's say, stage 2. So with the use of machine learning, we're understanding their habits. So let's say mom gets up every night 2 or 3 times. That's fine. That's a green check mark. Mom is okay. But if she starts getting up 4 or 5 times, maybe once, that's an anomaly, but 2 or 3 days in a row, it could reflect a urinary tract infection. So that's where we add AI on top of machine learning to see exactly and pull different information.
Okay. Arthur, I mean, it's just amazing, the technology, how that's helping.
So there's motion detectors and then the analysis of the data, but what struck me was the invasive nature of cameras. I don't want to know what people are doing by themselves, never mind my parents.
Very true.
So to do this and just so most of it's motion detection, right?
Well, it's a combination of sensors, but when we say non-obtrusive, that means that it's not a camera. So for example, I mean, cameras are very intrusive. Not only are they intrusive, our loved ones don't want it. I tried it, and Dad put a dish towel right over that thing.
Well, yeah, especially older people, they're not used to all this.
Right, it's an invasion of privacy. I mean, I'm sure we could strap a GoPro to a little puppy dog and have him run throughout the house, but it's still not going to work out very well.
Okay.
So that's privacy.
So does this replace or supplement a human caregiver?
Supplement.
Okay.
So it's fascinating. On one hand, we call ourselves caregivers sometimes, the adult child caregiver. But the reality is it starts with mom needs a little help. She needs a ride to the shop, right, AMP. She needs a ride to go see her doctor. And then all of a sudden it goes from those onesie twosies to blink 2 years later and you're there every single day, all the time, because your loved one needs that much help. And from that standpoint, you go into the in-home caregiving community. You still need the information, you still need the insights, because they're not there 24/7. And there's 168 hours a week, and it's very important to get that information.
Yeah, it's like a live-in supplement. So, I mean, Arthur, what do you think about just in terms of this big demographic that's coming, the use of technology? There's all these kind of huge macroeconomic forces that are coming together that make it a good time, really, to be in this business.
Yeah, there's a convergence of things that cause this to make sense, aside from just wanting to take care of your loved ones. The technology's coming. You've got the Alexa device, which is part of the component that can be used here. I happen to know a little bit about the company, and that the price point is so manageable, and it's Ryan and the company won the Family Office Funding Challenge out of hundreds of applicants, and one of the things that, as an investor, we like is that there's a recurring revenue model, and recurring revenue models are good to build businesses on. We've seen Salesforce, you just go down the list.
Yeah.
So I think that this is only going to get, it could even compress the price over time, because the technology is going to get better. There will be competitors, so there might be pressure on that, but they have a construct right now that's super reasonable, and they're doing two things. They're looking for customers, and they're looking for investors in the company so they can scale.
Yeah, well, that was what I was going to ask about the price, because we went through this with my dad a few years ago, and we're all like, oh my gosh, nursing home, how much, So what would the price be?
So it's interesting when we start talking about pricing. So let's hedge it against the industry. So if you're talking about some kind of in-home care, technically the entry-level in-home care is 4 hours a day, twice a week, and that ends up to be about $10,400 a year. That's a lot of money. And then from there, let's say we have to go into independent living. In New Jersey, that's starting at about $6,500 a month.
Yeah.
Then we go into assisted living. So now we have nurses involved, and now you're up to $8,500, if not $10,000. And then nursing homes are just incredibly expensive. We're talking about a 4-room package, the most important rooms, the place where the event happens, for $499 and $45 a month monitoring. That is what relieves your stress and gives you peace of mind.
Yeah.
You know exactly how your loved one is doing.
Right, and the person can still go to work, they can monitor the parent, they can swing by on the way home, check on them in person, visit with them for a little bit, and still kind of feel like comfortable.
And now it gives you the insight. So if, let's say, it looks like mom's losing a little bit of weight, you can literally look at the refrigerator and see how many times she's opened it.
Interesting.
Those are the kind of things we're talking about.
It's data-driven too.
Yeah.
At the very least, people want to stay home. They want to be in their own environment, especially
everybody
when they get older. So it satiates that desire. And then if it, at the very least, pushes off that $10,000 a month, $6,500 a month bill, because it's going to happen presumably at some point, unless something else happens, right?
The other interesting part is when we talk about this, I mean, you talk about the greatest generation, which is 90 plus years old. There's 40 million Americans right now. Then we add the baby boomers. That's another 76 million Americans. And then when we talk about CRCs, or assisted living facilities, there's only 1.7 million beds. We can throw all the money we have at it. We could start building all over the country. We'll never be able to have the capacity that we need. So we're literally forced into staying home and aging in place. And then there's the appetite from, it's called the payer system, which is the insurance companies. It is more cost effective to keep you home, throw everything at it. Our system, visiting angels, visiting nurses, visiting doctors, visiting everything. They still save about 50% as opposed to going into an independent living situation.
Wow, very interesting, and best of luck to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And Arthur,
thanks for having us, Jane.
And thank you as well for joining us. We'll be right back.